How's it going, everybody? I'm Jason Dardick, and this is Bradley Crenshaw.
Whoa. It's Big Sexy.
That's
Get
right.
it right.
Big Sexy Bradley Crenshaw, and this is DCI Episode 9 of the DCI podcast. I know Episode 8, we did a little preview of what we're going to be hiring for at the Dallas Card Show. We touched on the 2021 National Treasures football release. Some thoughts on that draft class and
which was extremely ridiculous. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe we'll get into some of those singles prices and some of those bigger cards that have been pulled today.
I actually looked this morning, and people are still paying the ridiculous prices for Zach Wilson. Come on, guys. We talked about this on the last episode. He plays for the Jets. I mean, get with it.
Something that I've seen that really blows my mind as far as the prices goes is that a lot of those shields of the big name quarterbacks have been pulled kind of in that first week, and these breaks are still filling at these incredible prices for the sealed cases. So
a shout out to my boy Sean Henry. He pulled the Mac Jones shield from first off the line.
That is a huge card. It's an awesome card. Congrats, Sean. That is awesome. We touched a little bit last week on the Topps Chrome Formula One, the Lewis Hamilton record-breaking sale. This week, we are just going to talk about basketball.
That person who bought that is having buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse. $900,000. Would you spend $900,000 on that card?
Not on any card, Brad. Yeah, I would not have spent $900,000 on any card. Would you?
I would spend $900,000. There are a few cards
on a card
that I would spend $900,000 on, but it damn sure wouldn't be a racing card, an F1. No. Anyway, go ahead. And it was graded like a 7, but regardless, it was a 101. 101s don't really need to be graded anyway.
Right.
So.
Right. $900,000, crazy sale. I know the autographed version, the 1-of-1, is going to auction this month coming up. So that's going to be crazy. I bet that does over $1 million. I know the F1 market's been going crazy about those two sales. But this week we're just going to dive into some basketball topics. And I think a good place for us to start is going to be the newly named MVP, NIKOLA JOKIC.
The Joker.
The Joker, that's right.
And I tell you what, he's a phenomenal athlete.
He really is. He doesn't strike you as one when you see him in pictures or running up and down the court. He kind of looks like he's laboring. But he can surprise you, I think.
I saw a post that he made today that said something along the lines of, when I'm old, fat, and lazy or something like that, and my grandkids look back, I want to be able to say, yeah, I used to be good at basketball. Something along those lines. It was funny, when I read it. He seems like a pretty nice guy.
He does. I think he's ultra competitive.
Yeah.
Obviously, you see him kind of going back and forth with guys on the court. I think that's what it takes to win at that highest level, like he's proven.
Two-time MVP now?
Two-time MVP, back-to-back. Rarely happens, especially in today's guard-dominated NBA, to see a true center win like that. I know one of the topics of debate kind of around the MVP discussion was Joel Embiid leading the league in scoring, and Philadelphia, making the playoffs as well, and kind of Joel Embiid getting the snub on the MVP vote.
I think Joel Embiid is a great player as well, but to be completely honest with you, the player, in my opinion, that should have been MVP, hands down, is Steph Curry. Man. Steph Curry, to me, when you think about an MVP, or when you even think about the greatest of all time, right?
Sure.
You think about somebody who changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I think of somebody who changed the game in basketball, I immediately go to Steph Curry, because he makes you guard the perimeter. Because if you're not guarding him on the perimeter, I mean, you've seen he makes these videos, these crazy videos. He kicks the ball across the half court, and they kick it back to him, and then he shoots a half court shot, behind his back and all this other stuff. He is just a phenomenal shooter. And without him on the court, the Warriors are not in the playoffs. And in my opinion, an MVP should make the difference of whether or not you're in the playoffs or how deep you go in the playoffs.
Sure.
And that's a player that I feel deserved MVP over any of those other guys.
That's interesting. I love Steph. I'm a huge Steph fan. And to touch kind of on what you said, there's nothing in basketball today like that Steph Curry tidal wave of three-pointers where he can, steps across half court, and he, is putting 12, 15 points up in 90 seconds. And that, the run they go on is kind of like unlike anything else in basketball.
And I'll tell you, the Warriors, when they're on, there is nobody that's going to beat them in the NBA.
That's right. Forget it.
Nobody.
No. And that's what's really interesting is that Steph's usage compared to Jokic and Embiid is probably the lowest out of the three in terms he's so active off the ball. And the Warriors have so many facilitators, and they've built that team to play that style with Steph that, it makes sense that he's such a big component. Like when he's off the court, whether he's got the ball on the court or not, he's super valuable.
Yep, 100%.
Cool. Cool, man. Awesome. I know, moving on, a couple more basketball topics we've got. One that pertains more to the hobby is going to be the LeBron Flawless Triple Logo Man. Was finally pulled out of Flawless Basketball. I got more kick out of the reactions of them screaming like little girls. I love that.
I mean, it's like, it's so freaking. I was laughing. I was like,
anytime a big card is pulled, that's my favorite part. Is like when whether it comes from a breaker or somebody just ripping a personal box on their own. Just whenever you're opening boxes, make sure you're recording it because people love to do. They love to see the reaction.
Yes.
So that was great, and I know Backyard Breaks is kind of polarizing. They've got fans that love them, people that aren't necessarily the biggest fan of their platform. But definitely, I think
I haven't followed a lot of the Backyard Breaks. I've only seen the couple of different things they've done, and so the one thing was that Trevor Lawrence gold, was it some kind of gold kaboom or something?
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we're not going to give this card away, and I know they caught a lot of hell over that.
Right.
And where that is wrong, if that was a giveaway, you should give it away regardless of what the card is.
Right.
But I've also seen them where they throw in like all those base cards and the inserts that they don't send out in their breaks, and they put together these boxes and send them to kids. Right. And I have seen those things to where, Backyard Breaks provides this box of, cards for the kids, and the kids are super excited. And that's what really matters in this hobby
100%.
Is we've gotten away from that. We've gotten into, and we've talked about this on some episodes, we've gotten into more of a business rather than the fun part of the hobby. And we have to get back. We have to remember we're all going to continue to age, and at some point we're going to die. That's just what's going to happen. You're going to die. And we have to make sure that our kids are enjoying the hobby as much as we actually did, rather than just make it all about business.
Or else it goes away.
Yes.
That's right.
So I do like that about the kids. I've always wanted to do, put together something special for the kids, and we've kind of done some things where we've done some raw review cards and given those back, like some Peyton Mannings and things along those lines. And I'm always looking for ways to be able to give back to kids.
Absolutely.
And to add the value to those kids. I love seeing the look on those kids' faces when they come by our booth at the show, and they get a 10 on a card, and they're like, yeah, DCI 10, that's awesome. I just love it. I love it. And they all come by, and they're like, man, saw you guys on TikTok. You guys are amazing. And that's just, to me, I love the look on those kids' faces when they do that.
Yeah, the community aspect is certainly rewarding from our standpoint. When people get those grades back, it's almost like that card reveal. Pulling a big card, you see that your card got the 10. The value's increased, and that's always face to face. That's a special thing to get to see at shows. To go from the kind of high end basketball card market in the probably. What do you think that LeBron Triple Logo Man's going to sell for? Ballpark.
I bet it goes for $5.5 million.
$5.5 million. All right. Well, let's go all the way back down to a card that in early 2019 came out of Panini Chronicles and was selling for around $5 a card. And that is going to be the Ja Morant Panini Chronicles rookie card.
Before we jump into that one, let me back up to that LeBron Triple Logo.
Sure.
Have you really looked at that card?
I have.
Okay. Have you looked how bad the logo man's look on that card? The one on the far left, the stitching is not even placed into the card properly. The middle one looks nice.
Yep.
The one on the far right is a totally different logo man. It's like a silk screen logo man versus the actual patched logo man's on the other side. To me, my wife even looked at it and goes, well, that's ugly. I wouldn't give you $5 for it. That was her response.
So I've heard mixed reviews. Okay, so I've heard that take as well, and I've also heard it's very unique from the kind of three eras of LeBron's career.
And I can see that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess the follow up to that is the National Treasures basketball that's coming out is going to have the 75th anniversary Logoman as the Logoman patch.
I did see some of those, and those look sick.
They are awesome. So that's probably going to be like the best looking Logoman as far as some of the current patches they've got going out right now.
But judging by the price of National Treasures in football at $20,000, they're going to release basketball at $30,000.
Oh, no
which
question.
is ridiculous.
Right.
And they're trying to make all the money they can before Fanatics takes over.
That's exactly right.
Their business. And the problem is they know they can get it because the breakers are going to pay for it, and they just charge it out to the people in the breaks. And it's taking the price of boxes and cases now has taken the normal hobbyist out of it because where you or I or somebody would like to just crack a box or crack a case. Well, the prices of that stuff is so high that, you don't even get your value out of it. So it's better to just buy the deadgum cards you want.
Right.
So.
No, I totally agree. Especially on that high end, super high end single side of things, the sealed wax price has gotten so out of line with the raw singles price straight from the box that if you wait a week or two, you're going to get. You're going to see a ton of value from just buying those singles rather than buying the box.
If you see me ripping a box or a case, it's just
you're just bored.
I'm just going to throw them in a box and be done with it. It's one of those things for entertainment purposes.
100%.
It's not even really a collection or a hobby thing, and it's definitely not to make money.
For sure.
Because you cannot make money ripping wax. You just can't do it.
It's gambling. Anyway, so to circle back to the lower end basketball cards here.
Yeah, they probably ripped $10 million worth of Flawless to pull that one $5 million card.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, the Ja Morant Panini Chronicles rookie card has kind of come into focus again. We remember last year around this time as well, the same card saw a pretty good spike. And what's unique about this card is it shows Ja Morant. It is a rookie card. In the background of the card, however, in the crowd is one of the rappers from Memphis. His name's Young Dolph, and he recently passed away. It's my understanding, and that card, since it features both him and Ja Morant, has kind of taken popularity, kind of like the Bill Ripken error card or the Menendez brothers Mark Jackson hoops card.
The things people find to want to
it's crazy
to drive the market up. I'm like. Well, first and foremost, I don't even know who Young Dolph is.
I was going to say, what's your favorite Young Dolph song, Brad? I was about to ask.
Does that stand for like Young Dolphin or what?
That's right.
What does that stand for?
That was going to be my follow-up. It is crazy.
How do you get a nickname Dolphin?
Young Dolph, man. I don't know. But I have seen, with Ja Morant's popularity, that guy, deservedly so, has seen his cards go kind of increasing. But this is literally a card that for $1 to $5 2 years ago could be had endlessly. It's now selling in a PSA 10. I think recent auctions were above $350, $400. We saw the same thing last year.
Really?
Really, yeah. And it literally is a 100%, influencer-driven pump and dump. Whether it was tweet-based or kind of pop culture-based, we've seen a lot of people kind of take a bath on some of these Ja Morant rookie cards based on, maybe it's one of the lower end rookies, but it's.
I think Ja Morant is a phenomenal player. And I bet if you go back and listen to some of our episodes, I guarantee you that I know I talk about Ja Morant, the value of his card prices, but also talk about how injury prone the guy is.
Absolutely.
And the guy can jump through the gym.
He's a freak athlete.
But the way he plays the game is so. If you relate it to like a baseball player, so if I'm going to look at somebody like Ja Morant, I look at him as he plays the game very similar to like a Bryce Harper or like a Ronald Acuna.
Totally.
They're all out.
They're going to run through a wall to catch that baseball.
And so, but they're also very, very injury prone when it comes to that. So, anyway, I mean that's a interesting thing, that the fact that the $5 card is now bringing those types of prices. But it can all be pushed and by any type of social media, influencer and so on. So
absolutely, and I think that's something that is important to pay attention to. On a card like that, you really got to remember where they started in this market. Especially with the social media influence and things like that.
Do you own any of those?
I do not, unfortunately. I was digging back through the box to see if I could, picked any up for $1, $2 here and could make $50 or $60. But unfortunately, I do not own any Ja Morant. In 2019, I was holding my Zion and I was selling my Jaws, and so hopefully I'm not the only one out there. I don't have any more of either anymore. But I definitely I picked wrong out of those two on which cards to hold. So
gotcha.
Yep. No Jaws. No Jaws for me. I guess closing remarks. If you guys will make sure to click on the subscription bell down below, turn on our notifications. Make sure you give our video a like. We really appreciate it. Keep tuning in to DCI episodes, and we are going to keep bringing you the content. Sorry, guys. Brad gets choked up when he's talking about his jaw collection there. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and like our videos. Be sure to check out our upcoming DCI episodes as well.
That's all you got?
That's all we got.
Hey, subscribe to our channel. Go back. Follow us on all social media pages. Big Sexy out.
Thanks, guys.